Okay, so this one, what line has a slope of 5/8 and goes through the point 2, comma, -3? So I'm going to first try and find my b. So in order to do that, I'm going to plug everything that I know, my x and my y, and my m. So y is -3, m is 5/8, x is 2, and my b is what I'm trying to find. So rewrite it, -3 equals 5/8 times 2 is going to turn into 5/4 plus b, and I want b by itself, so I'll subtract 5/4. Now 5/4 is the same as 1 1/4. So if I had -3 minus 1 1/4, that would be -4 1/4. Equals b. And now, for the sake of this, I'm going to change it into an improper fraction. So -4 1/4 is going to be 17/4. And now I'm going to rewrite my equation with just my m and just my b, or just my m and my b. So y equals 5/8 x sorry, that's a negative, so minus 17/4. So now I go over here and I look at my answers. This is the ones you sent me. So I know my slope here is 5/8. So I look at, I'm like, okay, well I know it's not that one. It's not D, but I look at, or sorry, I know it's not D, and I look at C, and I'm like, oh well, I got the slope right here, but not my other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it into standard form. So there's two ways. You can either change these into slope-intercept form, or I can change mine into standard. So I'm going to change mine into standards, and that's only one I'd have to do. So in order to do that, I'm going to clear my fractions. So I look at both my denominators, 8 and 4, and ask, what is my least common multiple? Well, in this case, it's 8, because both 4 and 8 are divisible by 8. So that means I'm going to multiply everything by 8. So y is 8 times y is 8y. If I have 5/8 times x, it's just going to turn into 5x because the denominators will cancel out. And then 17/4 times 8, well, my 4 and my 8 will cancel, leaving me with 34. Then I look over here, I'm like, oh man, well that's really similar to this one, but my 34 is positive. So let's start by bringing it over to this side to see if we can make it positive. If I add it to that side, I have to add it to this side. So then I end up with 8y plus 34 equals 5x. Now I want my x and y on the same side, so I'm going to subtract 8y. So, and then those will cancel. So I end up with 34 equals 5x minus 8y, which is the exact same, it's just flipped. So let's Let's see if I can get both of these on the same page. It's not working out for me. Okay, kind of see it now. So 34 equals 5/8. So then you know it's B. So anyways, hopefully that one helps for that one. That one can be kind of a little bit confusing. Now, for the other one, sorry, I already solved it. I've been having a lot of issues with my video recording today, so ignore that and I will redo it. Okay, so find the slope between, and then it gives you 2 points. So I know that my slope is rise over run. So m equals rise over run. Another way to write rise would be the change in y over the change in x. And that's because if I look at a graph, my slope is going to be how much I rise over how much I run. So if I look at 2 points on a line, I'm looking at how the y's change versus how the x change. So we write that as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now it doesn't matter what my x2 and my x1 and my y2 and my y1 are. All it matters is what coordinate I use. So let's say I want this one right here, my 3 to be my y2. That means this one will be my y1. And this one will be my x2. So if this is my y2, this has to be my x2. That's basically the only. And I could do it the other way. The only reason I chose this way is I like to choose my bigger numbers for my x2s so that they usually end up positive. Because if I did 2, this one, 2 as my y2, then I'd have 2 minus 3. And I like to do 3 minus 2 because then I don't have negatives. But if that didn't make sense, all you have to remember is that it doesn't matter what order. You just have to choose. Okay, so my y2 is 3, and then I'm just going to plug in my numbers. So m equals, my y2 is 3, my y1 is 2, my x2 is 2, and my y2 is 1. So 3 minus 2 is 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, m equals 1 divided by 1, which is 1. So I look over here at my answers. So it looks like it would be D, because D, m equals 1. Alright, well hopefully that helps. Please let me know if you have any other questions.